up the cabin trail.
This is what the froggy pond looks like today.
Hey folks, welcome back to the cabin. I'm Glenn.
Welcome to our channel. I'm Maureen.
You know, over the 30 years that we've been recording soundscapes in nature, being nature field recordists, we have noticed a lot of sounds that repeat themselves in cycles from year to year. And like the beginnings of new seasons, like the spring peepers in spring, that kind of a thing. But it's not always in the form of sound that we notice these indicators on an annual basis. There's a lot of other signs as well. And those indicators have been pretty important to us. They've become markers, annual markers, I guess you could say. Signs of nature that presents itself to us that certain things are happening, and there are certain times of year when things need to be done because of those signs are presenting themselves. And we'll tell you all about that as we go.
Let's go down to the pond and see how the ice is doing. Maybe it's all out.
Sure, and I've got my recorders down that way too. We'll collect the recorders and check the trail cams as we go. You know, one of the very first indicators we have after the dead of winter is when the temperatures reach above freezing.
And the snow melts.
That's a good one. You know, it's not long after the winter snows begin to melt, the daytime temperatures are above zero, and then the sap begins to run from the maple and birch trees. We do our maple syrup processing. We get a whole year's worth of sugar.
And my favorite indicator of spring coming is the return of the migrating birds, particularly the winter wren. I love the song of the winter wren.
Also, I really enjoy the sound of the Canada geese flying north on their migration. That's a real harbinger of spring. It's also the time of year when the creeks start to babble and flow. It's just wonderful to sit back and relax and listen to the sound of a babbling creek and meditate.
And get ready for the garden. Start germinating the seeds, get the potatoes and the onions in the ground. Life is starting in the spring.
You can tell when the ice has melted off of the ponds and the lakes and the ground is thawed, because that's when the frogs come up from the frozen mud. The spring peepers are the first to appear, and what a cacophony of sound they make when they all get going. And in the wetlands and the lowlands, wow, what a sound.
Yeah, another sound too is the sound of the call of the loon from distant lakes.
And you can hear packs of wolves howling, and they are raising their pups at this time, and the bear have come out of their dens, and they're active too. You know, shortly after the peepers start their cacophony, about a week or two later, you'll start hearing the American toads around this area. Anyway, and that is closely followed by the gray tree frog around the beginning of June.
And then it's time to get the plants into the garden and get the seedlings into the garden, because that would mean the end of the last frost.
Usually about the full moon in June is our last frost.
Oh, look at the moose droppings.
Yeah, those are all kinds of moose around here. One of the great things about this time of year is no bug net, no mosquitoes or black flies. And that's a good time of year. We don't have to worry about being out, being exposed to all the black flies and mosquitoes, and they can get pretty thick around this neck of the woods. And you know, it's not always sound that is the indicator of a time marker for us. Sometimes it's an event in the season. To everything, there is a time and a season. June 21st, that's a major indicator for us. That tells us it's the longest day of the year, and that's where we get to enjoy some glorious early sunrises and some late sunsets by the fire. A lot of these changes that happen, you really have to keep your eyes open and ears open because they're easy to miss. You know, one day they're here and next day it's gone and moved on to something else. And you know, the summer long days are no different, where you try to get as much maintenance done and so forth, a lot of the chores. But it's also a time where we try to take advantage of being out on the lakes and the rivers and recording in the canoe. Often we'll be out in the canoe all night long, recording the loons and the wolves, and other times we'll hike and have an adventure in the back 40 at the outpost camp. Well, you see we have another tree down from the last storm. This wasn't here before.
Wow. The pond is absolutely gorgeous. Look at it. The ice is gone. It's open. It's ready for the canoe.
And as those summer nights get cooler, the leaves start to wilt and turn a little bit brown, and the crickets start to come out through the warm days, and just a great time of year. Good time to get a lot of maintenance done. It's also a time where cleaning out the wood stove chimney is a good idea to get that all spruced up and ready to go for the fall wood burning and coming winter.
And keeping our eye open for the early frost, getting ready to harvest the garden, our carrots and all that. The tomatoes will be ready and starting to can. That's a really exciting, very busy time of year for me.
Usually sometime in September we get that a frost through the night, and that's our early warning. Careful where you step, Maureen. There's a moose was by last night. It's not long after that garden harvest that nights become increasingly cold and dip below freezing. The fall colors appear, and the yellows turn to oranges and reds, and just a glorious time of year. The birds begin to migrate. Bear get ready to get into their dens and are eating as much as possible to fatten up before winter. And the geese are flying overhead southward. It's not long after that the trees are bare of leaves, and we know that it won't be long before the first snows come. And one year I learned a lesson, and that is that you've got to do things while the opportunity presents itself, or that window will close on you pretty quick. I'd left a rake and a shovel leaning up against the outhouse one year, and I forgot that they were there, and an early snow came, it frosted up, and then more snow came, and I didn't get that stuff out of there until the following May.
I remember that. And so now, as soon as the leaves start turning color, everything gets picked up, all the tools get put away, and we're ready for the snowfall.
We're ready for winter. And then the first snows come and stay, and we know that winter has arrived. The pond has frozen over. And it's not long before we have the shortest day of the year, and that's December 21st. We'll have long nights. It gets dark around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We start to lose our light, and we don't get any light until about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. So
That's right.
and that's one thing about the shortest day of the year. We know that right after that, the days start to get longer. So those are events that occur throughout the year. They act as indicators, as signs to us, signposts along the way. And as we said, they're not all in the form of sound, but many of them are. And we try to pay attention to those things. For you, where you are, there may be a whole list of other things that you noticed on an annual basis. I'd like to hear what they are in the comments.
Well, let's go collect that microphone and have a coffee.
Sounds like a plan. Well, that's all for this one. We'll see you next time, right here on Cabin Life. I'm Glenn.
I'm Maureen.
Over and out.
Take care.